Well, it's that time. New Soul game, new year,
Tell a story.
and a wonderful story to sit through. I gotta say, I wasn't expecting this for an intro, Brandon.
What,
Because
just painted backgrounds?
they're concept art.
The great
Oh,
Elden
It's basically just high fidelity concept art over audio. Like, it's a fairly cheap production level event, but I mean, it's very pretty at onset.
oh yeah. There's a lot of games that have really, really, really good concept art that I'm like, why do I not have like a booklet of this
Mm.
or a poster?
Like, here's Queen America, the one that's been name dropped quite a bit in the trailers. Queen
Ah,
is
America.
nowhere to
Ba,
be
ba.
found. And in the night of the Black Night,
So is the story pretty straightforward so far?
Godwin the Golden
No.
was
I mean,
first
like,
to perish.
what seems to be the on the surface level version of the story?
Some people have shards of the Elden Ring, and you have to go kill them to reforge the ring.
The shards.
Oh,
That is what I've gotten out of it thus far. Uh, for the audience, I'm playing ahead, and then we're recording this after in review. It's sort of like in a guide format, but also it's a lot easier for me to also talk during these when I'm not trying to focus on surviving, so that's kind of helpful.
yeah, because it doesn't matter how improved it is, a Souls game during gameplay commentary can sometimes be very difficult.
Or frustrating.
Yeah, either way.
A war.
Also, this fucking
Jesus
guy,
Christ.
this agent of corn right here, he fucking manipulates gravity, from what I've read. That's kind of nutty.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been finding gravity minerals.
Rise now.
Your soul is only weighed down by gravity. Gravity. Yeah, gravity road. Gravity roads. Weighed down by gravity. And yeah, so here's us tarnished, being summoned in by some sort of interesting ritual. We are both the dead and undying. We are the unkindled. We are that chosen undead souls.
Yep.
And now we're gonna get flashes of retrofitted Dark Souls characters who are now new bosses. Like Gold Mask kind of reminds me of Pinwheel.
Oh no.
I actually met Via, Deathbed Companion. She's really fun. You'll like that later. Yeah, we need to find out what's up with the loathsome dung eater.
He's literally just he's a friend of Nurgle.
And then Gideon Ownfair. That one's pretty cool. He has a nice name.
So wait, so the Elden Ring itself, like, what exactly was it? Do we know?
It's not really explicitly stated what it literally is, but it seems to be both a physical and metaphysical law.
Right, because obviously it was able to be broken, otherwise you'd have the shards. But
Like it's a law of nature as well.
Okay, so the only thing I'm trying to think of is, was it? I don't think it was like an actual like ring. I'm assuming it was probably something very large.
Yeah, like it might be a ring around one of those Erd trees, is what I'm guessing.
Oh, okay. Is that one of those trees that glow like yellow with that are like really big glowing yellow that I've seen?
Yes.
The Elden Lord.
And then after this fade, I didn't edit this at all. This is how the game starts.
Wait, seriously?
Yep.
Oh, you just wake up in like a chapel?
Yep.
Oh.
Now, I do like to edit out my spots in the menu, so notice that, Brendan. We're not going to see a ton of me showing up in the menu unless there's important hints. But also, the names of places, instant win. This area is called the Chapel of Anticipation. Bingo, bango, bongo.
Oh shit, that's a really pretty opening though.
Oh yeah, it's a very interesting tutorial area. I wish I saw more of it.
It looks. I love little effects like that. That's one of the reasons I love snow levels in almost every game. A lot of games is when it snows, you get those nice particle effects, like we're seeing here with that yellow.
Yeah, the ember here will also show up at night.
Oh man, it's gotta look really pretty at night if it glows.
It does. It also indicates when you will be having your item buff state and when you get more runes. because, well, when the way the day and night cycle works is the regular everyday gameplay difficulty will be during daytime. At nighttime, surprise round enemies appear, and then you earn more experience because you have to deal with more shit.
Huh.
Uh, mm, yep, that was me just kind of testing out. Whenever you're running around, you have infinite stamina. There is no weapon durability.
Oh, thank God.
Yep, it's just gone. You have infinite stamina and you have reduced falling damage when you're just exploring, but once combat enters, that changes.
Yeah, that's the weapon durability is the biggest thing for me. I hate weapon durability in games. I really, really do. The biggest thing for me was in Dark Souls 3, they lowered how fast it how they increased the durability of almost every weapon. Like the entirety of Dark Souls 3 that I played, I never had my weapon break ever, not even once.
Yeah, honestly, the only reason it was still mechanically a thing in Dark Souls 3 is you could, in theory, use Acid Surge, which is a pyromancy that can break equipment.
Right.
Because then everyone would try to stab you with a butter knife.
Hmm.
That was actually a hammer. And broken.
Broken butter knife hammer.
Yeah, Broken Butter Knife Hammer, that's my new band name.
Jesus.
But yeah, I kind of just jump around a lot in
man.
this because it's taking a while for my monkey brain to realize that interact isn't X anymore.
It's not?
No, X is jump.
Oh, yeah.
Because the jump button and the run button are now separate instead of being the same button like they've been in every Souls game, my brain has to readjust this. So you're going to see me jump a bunch whenever an indicator pops up.
So what's the interact triangle?
Yes. Also,
okay.
this is your first boss,
Oh, shit.
and I'm dead.
What in the fuck?
Now, you get some sweet shit for killing him early, I'm sure, but I wasn't a samurai, so I could not do so.
Jesus.
Samurais can do it somewhat adequately, with some spacing.
What other game did something similar to that where it was hard to beat the first boss, but if you did, you got like, oh, uh, there was another game that we played.
Well, Demon Souls does that, and then
Like if you beat the first boss, you get like a really huge reward out of it.
happens a ton.
Um,
There's another one, the easier one to think of is going back to my Let's Play of Yakuza Kiwami. If you beat Majima the first time.
okay, that's one of them. I think I
Also, here's an early hint at our mount. It's a little bit weird when we get there, but this is the horse you'll be riding for most of the game. His name is Torrent.
Aw.
Very cute boy.
Oh, he's got horns.
Horns. Yes.
Huh.
Don't worry,
And
Torrent.
there's a person.
Fortune
Yep.
is on his side.
This would be the lady who becomes our
Found him
firekeeper.
here, after all.
Her name escapes me, but it'll show up in the recording at another point in time. Probably next episode.
Like, yeah, so she's the firekeeper equivalent. Do they ever say what
One of
exactly
his kind
she is in terms of
sure
a
to
title?
seek the
Maiden.
Elden Ring.
Just maiden.
Yeah, it's a little bit ambiguous.
Even
But
if
I'm
without
guessing
her,
that she's
the Golden Order.
possibly attached to the sorceress woman that shows up in the trailer, the one of multiple arms.
Oh, maybe.
Because she seems to be a demigod of sorcery since she's one of America's daughters. Anyway, here's us, face up in our own shit again.
Oh, no.
This is where the real tutorial begins, those. Because everything up to this point was, hey, here's a boss, let's see if you remember anything. And I was like, I think... Stab.
I just realized the way that just happened. It kind of reminds me of the opening of Bloodborne.
This is also a parallel to Dark Souls 2. Because you woke up in your face full of your own muck, and now you're in an underground area.
Right.
The only thing is you didn't have to find your weapons. I just cut out me looking around at things that don't exist. There's a bunch of ghosts that show up.
For some reason.
Yeah, he'll just tell you to take the plunge, and you see how I didn't die instantly, and I only took a little bit of damage from that?
Yeah.
That's the improved fall damage, son, because I fell a shit ton.
Really?
Yep. I don't take a lot of fall damage in this game. This is one of the few occasions where that occurs. Also, that water is fairly pretty. I went for the performance graphic fidelity, so we're watching this in 60 frames.
Oh, yay.
Look at those rocks in so many frames. I can see those rocks, those stationary things in 60 frame.
Yeah, it's so great.
60 frames of rocks. Plague of Gripes would love it. Anyway, yeah, those are hint signs. They're all white now.
Okay. Just the player messages or the standard messages.
Yep, friendly summon signs are yellow. Still.
Yep, and finally a Souls game with stealth that isn't Sub-Zero.
Stealth in very rough terms. Like, the enemy AI still is parallel with regular Souls games. So you're not going to deal with people kind of like looking down or having any real intelligence to them. For the most part, all the enemies are acting like holotypes from DS3.
Huh.
I will say they have infighting now.
Oh, they did.
There was a section I was going through earlier that is basically full of like werewolf T-Rexes.
What?
Yeah, they're like Tarrasques maybe is something else they're similar to in D&D for anyone who wants to shit the bed. That did some infighting of some soldiers in an area I can only describe as Mordor, but if it was the nightmare terrain from Bloodborne.
Oh, Jesus.
Because turns out that's the outside of the mine area I was sent to.
Nice.
It was a bad time. I did, however, earn a shitlicious amount of experience by merely riding my horse, drawing aggro, and leading those T-Rexes to soldiers.
Also, can we just appreciate that this is probably the first AAA game at least in the last, I want to say the last year, maybe even a couple years. It's one of the rare couple.
Alright, keep an eye on some of this movement here while you're talking, though.
It's one of the rare AAA games that's actually come out where I'm like, oh, it looks like on day one, even though every game nowadays needs patching, it still seems like, oh, it actually functions.
Yeah, it is a complete game at launch, which is a good Souls thing to do. Now, to explain what happened on screen, though, Brando, this is a new mechanic in-game where if you block the attack, as long as you time it with the blow perfectly, you press the strong attack and you immediately do a counter move that can sometimes stagger and lead into a riposte.
Huh.
The thing about this gimmick is you have to have enough of an opening for it to land without the enemy hitting you again. Right. Some enemies have multi-hitting attacks, and you just have to make sure you riposte the right one. If you don't, you get punished for it, because you'll get hit out of it.
So what's the difference between... So what exactly is the difference... Like, what makes that and the... Are that and the parry just synonymous, or...?
That you can use them in tandem. The strong attack requires you to be hit, and it will take more stamina because you're performing two actions. You're blocking, and then you're hitting back.
Huh.
When you riposte, you're still doing two actions. The only difference is you are fully parrying the enemy's move.
Right, but why would I choose one instead of the other?
Not all moves can be parried, but you can try and block most attacks.
Oh.
So this is a mix of what is your preference, as well as what can you actually do in that situation. I like it because it can turn the game into a nice rhythm base, especially against human-sized opponents, where you can just sit there. And if you do the jump heavy, and do your regular jump heavy attack, that can also lead to the enemy getting staggered. It's very similar to the staggering move in Sekiro, actually, where you would jump onto people. So you have some of that element as well. Yeah, it's what's being explained here of stance breaking. So we'll see it again here in just a moment.
Part of me's wondering what, because we have Miyazaki as well as George R. R. Martin writing the story for this. Part of me's wondering if there's going to be any huge, like, Martin-isms that we're going to see throughout this story.
Well, after watching a few seasons of Game of Thrones, there are some things I kind of pick up. Where more than earlier games, there's lion imagery, and then there's a faction area related to a family called the Redmanes.
Oh.
So yeah, it kind of translates to Lannister-esque motifs, as well as larger characters and the type of armor they're wearing. People that might be very similar to the Mountain, for example.
Huh. And that's the big thing. Yeah, come to think of it.
Oh yeah, and here's our first boss. That's the actual tutorial boss. It's just a generic soldier. And he just got...
a really big sword.
Yep. And like that, he's...
Oh, Jesus.
almost dead.
Wow.
So the game does do this where it alternates between, that's a challenge, and, well, they're gone. So that's boss one, and I'm picking up
Enemy
while
fled.
exploring these areas that a lot of the bosses you find are remixed normal enemies in these random encounter type areas.
Also, I'm a moron.
Hmm.
I literally looked at that and I said enemy fled, and I just realized I had to reread it in my mind, and it said enemy felled.
Yeah, I gotta say, the user interface is a little weird when it comes to things like I was expecting the classic font you always get when you die,
It did
and
not.
it's a different font and it's a little bit quieter. Like it's a slightly more subtle version of "You Died."
Huh.
But I will say, finding more emotes, like I just got the one that makes you do the Dio pose, and boy, when we get there, it's a good time.
Oh, yay.
But yeah, as you can see, we just looped back to where that ghost was. I checked
Oh.
to see if he had any other dialogue. He does not.
Oh.
But yeah, the ghosts kind of give a single generic hint, and they're basically an upgraded version of these little notes.
Huh.
I like to think of them as developer notes, but now they have a body of their own.
Yeah.
A body paragraph. But, you know, not really.
Open doors.
Yep, gotta love sexy, slow door openings. We gotta have it in every game, every moment. I look scary as fuck from the face, but don't worry, we'll fix it.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for me to get the. If I ever get the chance to play this, I'm just. Well, one, I'm waiting. I'm wondering what DLC they'll eventually come out with, and I'm wondering what, if any improvements will come from patches.
Yeah, usually it's balance patches, similar to like fighting games and the like, due to the PvP element.
Yeah.
But it's never been significant. To be honest, the patches from Software aren't. There's very seldom where they'll actually fully change the meta in some huge way. Like, the biggest one I can think of is the lightning nerf of DS2.
Right.
But to be honest, they don't really. In the past, they haven't listened to a lot of player feedback on weapons they need to nerf. Otherwise, the Lawford Knight Straight Sword and all the Lawford Knight weapons in DS3 wouldn't have been as strong as they are.
Yeah, I remember the first time playing Dark Souls 3, and I got that sword. You were like, keep that.
Yep, it's a good quality weapon and it'll go to anything. Actually, there is one other weapon that was nerfed a bit more, and that was Solaire's sword in DS3.
I just noticed are all those candles emitting a white or bluish light?
It's white.
That's very odd looking.
Yep. It's related to soul energy.
Like, it looks cool from a lighting perspective. It's just weird.
White flame, yeah.
Yeah, it's just white flame. It's just kind of odd to see.
Yep, you don't see it very often after this area. You do see it every now and again, like candles, but I think it's just the way light and darkness are related in this game. I keep on finding more similarities with Dark Souls 2 in this game with its ideas of cyclical things and the cycle of light and dark. And also, watch this.
Okay.
That's just a chalice dungeon door.
Yeah, it is.
And now, here we are.
Jesus.
The robust. You went from stark cold and white to
Holy,
everything that is Harvest Valley.
that is. Wow, I love that color.
Yep. It's pretty strong for a first area.
It is mostly yellow, but I mean, most of this light is probably coming from the glare of that yellow fucking tree, so it kind of makes sense.
It's nice, warm, and the main thing I like from it is it creates this autumn-inviting nature. It has this color tone that just says, no, don't worry, we're not trying to be Breath of the Wild, but we can top it. And, I wasn't really keen on all the comparisons with Breath of the Wild initially. But with the crafting system, I think it's honestly a better version, because at least in this game, when you use a weapon, it won't break after like 5 or 6 hits.
Yeah, that's probably why they got rid of the durability, was so you could just focus on crafting.
I will say I find less duplicate weapons that way.
Yeah, that's definitely a huge bonus. That was one of the things I love about Bloodborne, is that when you find the weapons, they're usually always really unique. Like, you don't really get any duplicate weapons because you don't ever really get weapon drops. You have more or less have to find them or buy them.
Yeah, you'd have to buy different versions either from the vendors or from the Chalice Dungeon vendors.
Or you have to, like, unlock them somehow.
Now, this guy, he kind of gives you a few more hints because the game realizes they haven't talked to you about what's going on as much.
Yeah.
And he gives you a generic location, which is a castle I haven't gone to yet. He'll tell you to go there and to find a maiden, because you need a maiden to grow big, which is true, because at this point, we don't have a hub.
Right.
We have everything on our backs. We don't have an equipment limit, but we do have equipment load limits, which will just determine our rolling. Like, it's not like Demon Souls, like I mentioned, where if you collect too many items, it just sends it to stockpile Thomas, because fuck you,
Yeah.
don't have fun.
Yeah. I feel bad for Thomas, but I'm like, Jesus Christ, how do you magically keep getting my items?
Also, that castle up on that cliff over there is the one he was telling me to go to.
Ah.
So again, he tells you to go someplace, you can literally see it from where you are,
Right.
but what you have is what you have. There's no immediate Firelink Shrine. For a while, people were wondering if there would be a hub world for this.
Right, because it's the first time a Souls-like game is more or less going open world.
Yep, I would count it as an open world.
Yeah, it's
More truly open world than prior
because
Soul games.
Sekiro was because like technically Dark Souls 3 wasn't open world, but you could arguably go from one end of the game to the other. Ultimately, because I would do that sometimes. The only time I really had trouble doing that was honestly from the top of the high wall of Lothric to the undead settlement, because you had to have like the gargoyle creatures carry you
Yeah,
down there.
there's set areas where you have to be loaded into them.
Right. But ultimately, if you you can go from the undead settlement all the way to. You can go all the way to Irithyll, all the way down to. I forget the name of the place Yorm ruled over.
That would be the Profane Capital.
You can go to the Profane Capital.
Well, just things to think about is areas you load in, the final level, and then the DLC areas are all areas you can't just walk to.
Right.
Also, these are giant, like, chinchilla things.
I thought they were foxes.
Nope, they hop around like chinchillas, and they have similar facial structures.
Oh, man.
A lot of these animals are remixed. Like, there's a moment where I found a turtle.
Okay.
It didn't want to attack me. A lot of these wild animals do not want to fight me.
Well.
Because, you know, it's not like every other video game where a random weasel will look at you and go, I can take him! I'll fuck you up, player character, I don't care who you are.
I do like the idea of this. So wait, when you kill animals, do they give you materials, right?
Yeah.
Damn it, I can't talk. Do they give you like meat?
Yes.
Okay.
Meat, bone, sinew, special items related to the specific animal.
Huh. I wonder if the stealth can still the Souls concept of not being able to grapple onto a wall.
Yep, you can just grab ledges.
Oop.
Nope.
But yeah, I'm kind of wondering if the stealth is really way more suited to probably hunting animals.
I mean, it can, but if they do smell you, because it's a proximity-based thing, like, they won't detect you as much if you're full sprinting in plate armor. I wasn't wearing plate armor for a lot of my stuff during this, so it's been kind of easy for me to sneak up on things.
Huh. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, cliffs. Bruh.
I do love the way this looks, because but that building down there kind of looks like it was set up on those rocks and then like an earthquake or something happened.
You see? Things like that, where you're inventing the narrative, that's what the game wants. That's why I enjoy Souls games for their non-linear nature, because you can just build an idea of the story from what you're looking at.
Yeah, that's why I tend to like a lot of open world games to begin with, is because an open world game in most cases, depending on usually kind of like who's in charge of it, like based on the company or the developers, they could put a lot of time and effort into the area to make you look at things closely. That's one of the reasons I love Skyrim so much, is because you're like, oh yeah, here's an ancient land full of violent people.
Oh man, I love America.
Yeah, just you literally
Sliding down this wall, don't mind me, I'm doing this intentionally. Hey, it's just like Brandon mentioned Skyrim, slide down, I'm okay. Anyway.
But
Look
yeah.
at that beach.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Beach!
But yeah, that's one of the reasons, like I said, that's why I love Skyrim, is the concept that there's just a lot of the Nordic ruins, and the dungeons.
Also, I left
wow.
footprints
Yeah.
in the wet sand.
Oh, that's cool.
Also, this is where I start following some of the hints that do show up in this, because what's over here? And it's just a little merchant man. He's the first merchant we meet, but he's not the first merchant you're supposed to meet. That one actually looks like Santa Claus. They all have a similar character model where it's kind of a Bloodborne-looking guy with a long cap and sort of like a hunter outfit,
I saw him,
but he looks like Santa.
from a distance. I saw him just a glimpse before it cut away. I looked at him. I'm like, is that Gandalf? Did you just buy fireworks from Gandalf?
There's a lot of conical hats, and now we have our first instance of explorable area, which I do accidentally sequence break a side quest by doing this.
Oh, look, a mine shaft.
I also chose to do this the stupidest way because you notice how dark it is in here.
Yeah.
I don't have a torch.
Oh.
The game lets you buy torches later, but I said fuck it. I knew about the torch, but I wanted to not go back, so I just fucking.
Wait, is that ground just perpetually on fire?
Well, there was a fire there. There's a little campfire.
Oh, I didn't see like the logs or the twigs.
Yeah, it's small.
I'm just like, why is the ground on fire?
Some places
Oh,
have lit
sh-
candles on the bottom, and yep, this is me just going. Oh, yep,
Oh Jesus.
we'll work it out.
We
I'll
can
figure
work
it out.
out.
Feeling in the dark, groping in the dark. Why, hello, sir. Have you been groping dark? Stab. And here we go. This is our adventure.
Oh,
The darkest of
jeez.
souls.
Wait.
Enhance.
That's the thing I've always wondered. Like, Batman says I am the night, but I'm wondering if he's ever been outside where the moon's not shining and he doesn't have any source of light.
Yeah, if he doesn't have infrared, who knows?
Yeah.
Now, there's a lot of screeching you're not hearing since we can't hear the audio on this. But they're screaming in the dark now. A
Oh,
lot.
that doesn't help.
It didn't.
That
It made things scary.
yeah, you're just being attacked by things in the dark. It kind of reminds me of certain bits of the Bloodborne Chalice dungeons.
Yeah, you're gonna see a lot of Chalice Dungeon similarities with all these random encounters, especially when there's factual titular dungeons. The thing that impressed me is somehow I just survived it.
Huh.
I did choose Confessor as my starting class, hence the healing spells.
Right.
Which I gotta say, I was expecting it being more of a strength faith build, but it's actually more like a thief faith build. Like, there's two spells you get at the beginning. One of them is Urgent Heal, which is the best name for the starting healing spell. Urgent! I have an urgent need for feeling better.
It's so urgent.
And the other spell I get is the Muffle spell from Dark Souls, but it's a miracle now. Do you remember Muffle?
No.
Oh. Well, it's the Muffle spell from Skyrim. What does Muffle do, Brandon?
Makes it to where you make less noise, if any, while walking.
And also reduces fall damage.
Oh.
So, instead of having to crouch, good friend of the church here can just full body sprint when he's got that spell active and no one will hear him.
So wait, is it because you started off with a pseudo sorcery? Is that why you have the healing spells?
It's because I was a faith build, Brandon. These are all faith things. These are not intelligence based.
Right, but because of your starting class, that's why you have them.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the only reason I have a healing spell at all.
Okay.
And then I eventually found
Jesus.
one. Yep, and here's
Holy-
our
what the
first
fuck?
random boss encounter. The Demi-Human Chiefs.
Why did that thing look like it screamed?
It did.
Like, no, but it screamed like, I don't know, I just see a lot of, I've just seen so many Dark Souls.
Yeah, where they have a screaming, like, air effect. Where they go,
it looks fucking creepy.
like Ariandel when he goes, ah.
That's it. Yeah, Arendelle when he fucking does that.
Yeah,
scares
Ariandel's
me.
the big one. So yeah, I died here, and so I summoned an NPC to help me, and this is where we did the classic, alright, he's gonna draw aggro, I found my crouch button, goodbye.
Yeah,
This will happen a lot.
Yeah, the last time I summoned anyone to help me in any Souls game, that's funny. Jesus Christ. Yeah, the last time I had someone help me in a Souls game, like directly when I summoned them, was in Dark Souls 1 when I summoned 2 random dudes to help me kill Ornstein and Smough.
Mm-hmm.
and they literally just tanked them, and I'm literally just standing back like, let's get them! All three of us are attacking Smoke's legs.
Yeah, I'm just sitting here because I didn't know how many other, like, demi-humans were still in here.
Right.
So I figured I'd let him draw aggro on the chiefs, and then I could help thin the herd, which is what I ended up doing for most of this, for just at least the early portion. And then I saw that his sword was doing that. I was like, oh, okay, that's something to look forward to later. Since that is the summons ability, for some fucky reason.
That looks really cool.
It doesn't do much damage on this one, but it appears to cause a nice stagger state. The thing I noticed is the AI is also very aware that if it kills the host, the summon goes away. So he focuses on me after a certain amount of time.
Oh, Jesus.
It's just a matter of the summon drawing aggro by hitting you.
Right.
But they will prioritize you if they can see you. Luckily, these ones seem to stagger from the jump heavy, so I found that button to be pretty versatile on killing. Yep, there's a few more enemies that'll pop in, and then the next chief just comes out of the ground like the Kool-Aid Man for some reason. Didn't like it, don't get it.
Oh no.
Yeah, but he really likes the sweepy chiefs.
Yeah. Long gangly arms.
Luckily, again, our good friend here likes his weapon art and that jumping heavy. If you hit them in the head, they go owie.
God, I just looked into the eyes of that thing. Like, oh, good lord.
Yeah, no thank you. I'd rather not stare into the abyss. I literally just came out of the dark.
Yeah, I'm still puzzled by the fact that I think I broke Dark Souls 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because I fought the four lords in the abyss, and I didn't come across the other serpent while down there. And then when I tried to do the DLC area, I killed the wolf, but I never was able to find Artorias.
Yep, still Brandon, Sif's a part of the base game. And the Four Kings are also part of the base game.
I know the Four Kings are, but the fact that I went to the Abyss and the other Primordial Serpent never showed up.
Yeah, which one would it be, Karth or Frammed?
Framp's the one that's in Firelink Shrine.
Okay, then it would be Karth.
Yeah, he never showed up. I never met him.
Yeah, that's usually a sequence break. I'm not sure what happens, but I mean, not seeing Karth wouldn't block you off from the DLC. I just think it's a matter of the map being convoluted.
I know, I
Because
wasn't...
fuck that forest.
Yeah, I know, fuck that forest. I wasn't trying to directly connect them, I was just talking about things that seemed kind of out of place.
Yeah.
But luckily, I will say, that fight with Gwen, I'm like, yeah, I'm glad I saved Solaire.
Yeah.
Because he was able to tank Gwen and kill him for the most part, and I'm like, yay, I'm level 98, and Gwen can still kill me in like 2 hits.
Yeah, that's the way of things.
Because, good lord. But the arena he was in looked really awesome.
Yeah.
I loved the first flame.
Yep, the killing of the first flame is an experience.
So wait, in this game, what exactly is the pseudo-currency? Because...
It's runes.
Okay.
Yep, instead of souls, instead of blood echoes, it's runes. Luckily, there's only been positive connotations with the runes. Like, it acts like a regular souls currency where if you die, it hits the ground and you have to pick it up. If you die, they go away forever.
Okay.
But there's no enemies like in Bloodborne where they'll eat them.
Oh, so...
There is, however, enemies with, instead of red glowing eyes, they have yellow glowing eyes. And they actually net you double experience when you kill them, and a higher chance of item discovery.
Ooh.
So you otherwise may not have wanted to attack that group of enemies, but you saw something above their head that said, "Fuck you, want money? Fight me. Fight me in the streets.
My
Fuck
fight
the crabs.
money."
Fuck you, crab.
Yes, again...
Crab Rangoon."
Just again, the Skyrim comparisons, and like, fuck the mud crabs.
Until they... Well, there's a certain amount of karma to this, actually.
Like what?
I found a dragon in a swamp, and in the middle of fighting it, I hid under a large broken castle piece.
And there was a crab down there?
A giant crab.
Oh!
And he was waiting for me to hide in there to avoid the dragon, and he had his way with me.
Oh, wait, is...
Also, look at those billy goats. They roll away from you like they're a pinwheel.
Oh, that's hilarious.
But it's not evil. They just roll away.
They're scared.
Also, there's these pearl skulls that pop around that are glowing. I found out later that if you crush them, you get runes out of it.
Oh, so it's
Because those are also the consumable currency as well as just golden runes.
huh.
And similar to Bloodborne, there's a number that is ascribed to their worth.
Oh, okay.
And also there's just random cow skull. A lot of random skulls on the ground.
Yeah, just
See, look at these little chinchillies.
aw.
They're quite cute.
Yeah, as you slaughter them.
Well, I am covered in their blood.
Yeah, they're so adorable as I'm smashing their head in with a hammer.
Yeah, I mean, now I'll be able to make
Jesus
a hoodie.
Christ. Jesus Christ, it's like...
Also, this is the progression from that cave, climbing all the way up. This leads to that island area that we saw off the coast earlier. And
Oh.
what happens here is if you go inside, this is
What
a
the-
Church of a Dragon.
Oh.
Yeah, Church of Dragon Communion. Now, what you can do later is, as you kill dragons in this game, you do get a special drop which appears to be dragon hearts.
Okay.
You give the heart to the altar. See, I went to interactive and I jumped like a little girl. And you go and you present it to it.
Right.
It didn't pop up for me now in the menu, but after I visited it again later, you can get dragon transformation items from this shrine after killing other dragons.
Huh.
So you submit the dragon's organs to it, and that's it. There's nothing else to this area. There's nothing to fight. Just a lot of random wild animals, some resources you can farm from them, and if I remember right, the sweetest little round dumpling that ever was.
What?
Oh, you'll see him. He's a really good guy.
Oh.
Well, he'll show up.
Okay.
Ah, it is a good farm. Oh,
Jesus Christ.
oh.
What?
Yeah. Oh, there's Ghost Horsey.
Okay, I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and then there's these dark rocks too. They're like shitty skulls.
It's a cool looking island.
Yeah, and it goes.
Do you jump right here?
You can. I just kind of jumped down the other way.
Uh,
I again very cautious because of it being a Souls game. I just don't trust.
yeah, how far?
Oh, there's these things. These are little dung beetles actually that hold a bunch of items. They can give you craftables.
Huh.
But also, if you have red or blue ones, they'll give you your Estus and your magic Estus back. It's kind of handy.
Neat.
Some of them explode as well. And that's when I found out, oh, they're full of runes.
Oh, you're full of currency.
Yeah.
Time for
There he
assholes
is.
to die.
Oh, look at him!
That's a turtle?
Yep. And it's just an average turtle. There's nothing
Just-
fantasy about it. He's just a turtle.
Just a turtle.
And he's just wondering what you're doing.
Wow.
Look at him.
Oh.
Oh, he's so good. He's got a long neck. He's lived a long life. I won't.
I won't.
I'm in a Souls game.
Oh yeah, you're fucked. Oh lord.
Yeah, and then there's more crafting items. Because you need smithing stones to do smithing. Because they wanted to really nail down what you do with rocks in this game.
Yep. Need to just hammer it on home.
No, that's what you use hammer rocks for. Okay, bye.